Tak suka sangat.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum everyone, and we are going live right now untuk Cakap Masjid. Assalamualaikum Ustaz Mizi.
Assalam.
Masya Allah, nak book Ustaz Mizi dia kena 2020 tak dah book.
Ya ke?
Belum I berhenti kerja.
No lah.
Sebelum I berhenti kerja buka YouTube I dah book Ustaz Mizi. Assalamualaikum semua. Kita kembali Cakap Masjid hari Jumaat hari ini. Alhamdulillah, we are back today. Of course, hari ini kita dengan niat kita juga untuk mengumpul dana bagi Masjid Al-Amin. Ini adalah QR code untuk anda yang nak menerima ke Masjid Al-Amin. Boleh scan QR code ni ataupun screenshot QR code ni dan menerimalah ke Masjid Al-Amin. Dan ini adalah mungkin antara our first step of the day, untuk mula menderma. Dan today's topic adalah topik yang telah pun diusulkan oleh pihak Masjid Al-Amin, tentang kesedihan, tentang grieving, tentang anda yang berduka, how to deal with grief. And of course kita ada Ustaz Mizi, yang sebenarnya Ustaz Mizi ni sebagai CEO bagi Safina Institute banyak menganjurkan juga antara kelas-kelas dealing with grief. In fact your books is about that as well.
Yeah, and if I were to write another one, it would probably be on grief lah. I'm like almost retired from writing, but if I were to write another one, it will be about grief.
Macam mana Ustaz Macam kalau orang macam yang pernah pergi ceramah, pergi syarahan, pergi sharing session about grief, why is there a need to keep on going about this grieving thing?
Sebab grief ni memerlukan masa. Dan ada orang mereka rasa seperti mereka tidak boleh mengambil masa. Mereka perlu mempercepatkan proses grieving ni. Seolah-olah macam, sebab ada kawan-kawan cakap dengan dia, kau suami dah meninggal dah 2 tahun tu masih sedih lagi. Lah, kan? Move on lah kan. You know, for your kids ke apa, whatever reason.
Do it for
your
the
career.
kids. Do it for the kids.
Do it for your career. You know, nanti your career affected, tak ada kerja macam mana. So, diorang rasa terpaksa. Dan bila kita rasa terpaksa untuk nak mempercepatkan proses healing ni, proses grief ni, dia sebenarnya lebih melambatkan prosesnya and lebih merumitkan. Jadi I think first step is always to acknowledge that you feel sad and you feel like you miss the person. Kita tak boleh cakap kepada seseorang yang kita tak faham pun hubungan dia dengan orang yang dia dah hilang tu daripada kehidupan dia. Macam you miss the person, bukan ke dah lama, move on lah. That kind of statement doesn't help because you did not have that relationship with that person. I did. So you cannot judge me. Kan? So I think the first process and the first problem is always that lah dalam masyarakat.
Dan kalau contohnya Ustaz, ada yang grieving pasal hilang kucing, kematian kucing.
Ada, saya dapat juga message.
Connect macam gitu kan. And the people around you, orang sekeliling you boleh cakap, boleh terluarkan kata-kata yang not quite appropriate. Macam it's just a cat, the kucing je. Ataupun like for example, like right now ada yang super affected kan. Dan I think most of us are very affected tentang kejadian berlaku di Palestin. It's so far away. But it's so far away. Tak payahlah nak macam why you so much in your feels kan. Ataupun kalau ada yang kematian kucing, alah dah 3 bulan dah. Get another cat. Contoh kan. And they don't understand orang yang sedang berduka tu. Jadi sebab itulah saya cakap perasaan duka, perasaan sedih, perasaan pilu ni, dia satu perasaan yang personal lah. It's very personal. I can try to describe to you how I feel, but you will never fully understand. I can try to describe to you the depths of my relationship dengan orang ni, tapi they can never fully embrace and grasp. Jadi kita pertama sekali, kita ada 2 perspektif lah Fiza. Pada hari ini kita nak lihat perspektif orang yang sedang bersedih tu dan perspektif orang lain yang berada di sekelilingnya lah. So kalau kita ni, mungkin kita belum kehilangan seorang, tetapi kita ada kenalan yang baru kehilangan seorang, kita pun perlu belajar etika kita, cara kita bertutur dengan dia, apa yang kita ucapkan, even dalam social media pun, apa kita type, apa kita message kat dia. Ini semua penting supaya kita lebih berhati-hati, lebih berjaga-jaga, kerana kita tidak mahu dia lebih rasa sedih ataupun dia rasa bersalah. Saya pernah sekali seorang ni, dia cerita dia macam gini. Saya kasih talk dekat salah satu universiti lah di Singapura ni. Kemudian ada Q&A session. Q&A session, satu-satu ceritalah what's going on in their life. And then I remember one young lady, dia nangis. Cakap,
what happened? Dia cakap, I'm really sad because one of my friends committed suicide.
Aduh.
Jadi dia grieving, tak tahu how to process. Kawan sama-sama pergi sekolah and everything, suddenly one day you lose your friends just like that. So I felt sorry. And then ditakdirkan, one of the events I did, one lady came up to me and she shared with me the story. The story is that one of her kids committed suicide.
Ya Allah.
And then anak dia ni dia kembar. 1 year later, the kembar commit suicide.
Oh, I think I know the lady.
Yeah, so this rupa-rupanya that student that was sharing the story is about the same person.
Oh.
Okay, so what's interesting about the story is this, Fiza. Saya tanya dia, so how are you coping? She said, Ustaz, I have no choice. I move on with my life. I need to be strong for my family. Literally what she said. I said, how can you not grieve properly bila you dah kehilangan 2 orang anak you? 2 orang anak yang dibesarkan. Yeah. Macam mana you just move on like that?
Yeah.
You tak process your emotions, you tak process your feelings. It doesn't make sense. So I advise her to, take a break, give yourself a chance and opportunity. People will understand. Mana ada orang tak akan faham? Kalau hilang 1 anak je orang dah faham, apalagi hilang 2. So and these are not these are children that you have raised until they were big, kan. Maknanya ada banyak memories, ada banyak nostalgia that you remember back. Oh man, those days, kan, the throwbacks. You cannot just move on. You need to process it properly lah. Yeah.
Wow. Anyway, wow, what a heavy topic hari ni tentang dealing with grief, dan kita ada komen yang masuk hari ni. Salam Jumaat semua, kata Syakila. Waalaikumsalam. Mima Sunflower, waalaikumsalam to everyone who write your salam and assalamualaikum over here this morning. So terima kasih banyak-banyak. Please keep on sharing today's of course Cakap Masjid hari ini, dan ini sekali lagi adalah QR code untuk anda menerima ke Masjid Al-Amin. Ya, ini adalah QR code-nya. Sekejap comment section. We will be showing you sekejap lagi antara QR code. We just get it a bit right later on. Sementara tu I nak tanya Ustaz. So I was actually advised by Masjid Al-Amin tentunya. Hari ini kita cakap tentang the prophetic way of dealing with grief. Kita kaitkan dengan kisah-kisah Rasulullah SAW. And while some people might not understand, Ustaz, nak mengaitkan the reality that's going on right now. Mungkin ada yang sangat sedih, macam kata Ustaz, sangat sedih with certain matters of the world, certain matters of your life, dengan apa yang berlaku di Gaza sekarang ini, pembunuhan hari-hari, dan kita tengok all the social media feed, kan, budak budak kehilangan mak bapak kehilangan anak-anak, the whole family is gone. It just, dari segi emosi, it's a bit too much, too overwhelming. Dan dia bukan menjejaz orang Islam je, dia menjejaz basically everyone. So but then every time when people say like, kita kaitkan dengan cerita Rasulullah SAW, kita kaitkan lagi dengan cerita Rasulullah SAW. So why is there a need for that? Untuk kita kaitkan semula dengan sejarah Islam, kaitkan semula dengan kisah dan juga mungkin pengalaman Rasulullah SAW, Ustaz.
Yeah. So I think we all need an example. Kita perlu contoh, dan contoh yang terbaik, uswatun hasanah, adalah contoh baginda Nabi SAW. Jadi, kita ni ada ramai dari kalangan kita, bila kita dibesarkan, kita tidak dapat peluang melihat orang lain di dalam keluarga kita yang menunjukkan contoh bagaimana untuk grieve properly, bagaimana untuk nak berasa sedih atas kehilangan seseorang, bagaimana nak learn how to move on, bagaimana nak memproses emosi-emosi yang mereka sedang rasakan. Apabila kurang contoh-contoh seperti itu dalam hidup, maka mereka mencari the role model lah. And of course in Islam the best role model is Nabi kita, Nabi SAW. Jadi dari situ mereka mencari, mereka bertanya, dan akhirnya mereka menjumpai lah. Okay. Jadi kita tanya dulu yang sedang menonton sekarang ini. Okay, first and foremost, kalau you baru kehilangan seorang, maybe the last 1 year, please share what's your story. Who did you lose? Is it your friend, your parents, kehilangan anak dan sebagainya. And if you know someone who recently lost somebody, mungkin you kenal kawan you, saudara you, cousin you yang baru kehilangan seseorang, you want to share this link with all of them. Semoga mereka juga dapat mendengar kita punya perbincangan pada pagi ini. Mudah-mudahan mereka juga akan mendapat manfaat daripadanya, insya-Allah. Okay?
Amin. Ya Rabbal Alamin. And then kalau ada yang mungkin hari ini terpanggil untuk nak tanya sebarang soalan pada Ustaz, mungkin you want to share a bit of your story. And I think kenapakah perlu untuk awak ceritakan apa yang berlaku pada awak in great confidence, sebab dia adalah a bit of release, Ustaz, to tell your stories, because you will get a different perspective. You akan dengar perspektif yang berbeza, and it always helps. Ini adalah WhatsApp saya, so you can just WhatsApp I kalau you tengah menonton dari Malaysia, dari Singapura, basically mana-mana you berada, +658 90280 838 90280 adalah nombor WhatsApp saya untuk awak hantarkan WhatsApp ke 838 90280. That's the number. And so back to the stories tentang
so Nabi SAW sebagai contoh kan. So during his lifetime he experienced many losses lah. Dia kehilangan ramai orang yang dia sayang, ramai orang yang dia cinta daripada usia kecil lagi. Apabila ibunya sendiri, Sayyidatina Aminah, meninggal dunia ketika usia Nabi SAW baru 6 tahun. So budak kecil, kita bayangkan anak kecil yang kehilangan ibunya pada usia yang sangat muda seperti itu, pastinya sukar untuk mereka memahami kenapa tiba-tiba ibu saya tidak ada lagi di sisi saya. Kan? A child trying to process that. Now, how old are your kids?
Nak masuk 7 dan satu lagi 9.
Okay, saya nak masuk 7 tu kan. Maybe meaning he's still 6. Itu usia Nabi lah. So imagine now, imagine je. Let's say you pass away now. How do you think your 6-year-old will process your passing? Like suddenly he wakes up, you're no longer around. How is he going to process that?
I think dia akan be in denial.
Kan?
Dia akan ingat I went somewhere and I will come back eventually.
Yes.
Kan?
So as a child, they're so innocent kan? And they don't know how to make sense of it, they don't know how to process. Nabi SAW waktu usia 6 tahun, tiba-tiba the mother tak ada. But the difference between that is, you masih ada Casey. Nabi tak ada bapa pun. Bapa dia tak ada the moment he was born. So there is this young boy who doesn't really know how to make sense of what's going on in his life. What does losing somebody mean? Tetapi there was already a connection. And we know there was a connection and a bond dengan the mother, even though ada satu masa tu, dia bawa keluar kota Mekah supaya dia disusukan kan, oleh ibu susuannya Rabiatul Adawiyah. Bukan, Halimatul Sa'diyah. Terima kasih Ustaz Casey. Halimatul Sa'diyah. Dan dia disusukan di luar supaya dapat udara yang lebih baik dan sebagainya. So in that moment, even though they were distant, apparently there was still a bond. Sebab you cannot cut a bond between a mother and a child, kan? Dan ia dibuktikan kerana satu ketika itu bila Nabi SAW hendak pulang dalam penghijrahannya, dia berhenti seketika di satu bumi nama dia Abwa. Di situlah kubur ibunya Aminah. So he visited the mother, and he said because he missed the mother. So he was this grown up man who's probably in his 50s at that moment. He could still miss the mother. How can you still say to somebody yang baru kehilangan ayahnya, ibunya setahun, 2 tahun, and you say that, move on sudahlah. How can you do that? We will always forever miss our loved ones who have left us. Macam I'm very close to my late grandfather, maternal grandfather, my mum punya father. He passed away in 2019 before the pandemic. I was in Philippines. I had some training. So dia dah lama sakit, and I had a short video call at the airport. And then just before I boarded, he passed away. I sempat sampai je, dekat Changi Airport. My wife picked me up. Terus kita drive, sempat kebumikan dia dekat Pusat Rahman. Just in time, I dapat turun dalam liang lahat and collect him. And nowadays when I visit him dekat kubur ataupun I look at old photos, macam rindu. Right? You just don't know how to explain it. You just rindu. Suddenly teringat suara dia, teringat the times when he bought you stuff, teringat when he showed up when I was unwell, things like that. And so dengan sebab ini kita lihat Nabi SAW pun dia tidak deny his feelings. Jadi nasihat saya untuk semua orang, jangan kita nak tunjuk kita ni kuat sampai kita tak grieve properly dengan apa yang Allah telah ambil daripada hidup kita. Tetapi kita yakin apa saja yang Allah ambil, Allah akan gantikan. And then for this one I have another story. So dalam sejarah ada seorang wanita ni nama dia Ummu Salamah. Ibu kepada Salamah. Suami dia Abu Salamah, right? bapa kepada Salamah. Maknanya anak mereka nama dia Salamah. So Abu Salamah ni seorang Arab yang unik tau pada ketika itu. Sebab orang Arab dulu mungkin diorang ni agak rasa awkward untuk nak be gentle to the wife and be loving to the child and romantic and respectful, as a, macam jarang nak nampak orang lelaki macam itu. But Abu Salamah was like that. So Ummu Salamah puji dia, like there's never another man like this man that I have. But unfortunately one day he went to war, one of the battles, and dia mati syahid. And she was so sad that she lost a gem. She lost an amazing man, and then people one by one started to console her. Sahabat-sahabat lain datang kepada Ummu Salamah, bersabarlah, dan Nabi SAW mengajar kita, kalau kita kehilangan seorang, kita baca ni. So apa bacaannya? Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. Pertama, okay, which is kita semua datang daripada Allah dan kita akan semua kembali kepadanya. Pertama, it puts you in perspektif. Kan, perspektif adalah hidup ni bukan selama-lamanya, satu hari kita semua akan dikembalikan bersama. Satu. Second of all, dia ajar satu doa yang Nabi ajarkan, ajar kepada Ummu Salamah. Dia cakap, Allahumma ajurni fi musibati, ya Allah, berikanlah aku ganjaran ke atas musibah ini, wa khluf li khairan minha, dan gantikanlah apa yang telah diambil ini dengan yang lebih baik. So bila sahabat ajar dia doa ni, dia cakap, gantikan Abu Salamah dengan yang lebih baik. There's nobody better than Abu Salamah. He's the most amazing man. Kind, gentle, loving, forgiving, respectful. Everything you want in a man that I've never seen anywhere else. Tetapi bila dia baca doa itu, ditakdirkan dia akhirnya berkahwin dengan Nabi SAW.
Masya-Allah.
Jadi bila dia persoalkan, dia cakap, there's no one better than Abu Salamah. There is. You forgot one man. It was the Prophet SAW. Jadi para penonton sekalian, kalau kita kehilangan seseorang yang kita sayang, seorang yang kita cinta, kita kena yakin yang Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala akan menggantikan dengan lebih baik. Tak semestinya penggantian itu adalah dalam bentuk seorang, kalau kita hilang suami, kita hilang isteri. Kadang-kadang gantian itu adalah daripada aspek yang tidak kita sangkakan. Mungkin kehidupan yang lebih baik, mungkin kerjaya yang lebih baik, mungkin anak yang soleh, mungkin seorang sahabat, teman yang sangat akrab dengan kita, yang he or she is always there for us, who's a good listener, apa saja, ataupun tiba-tiba kita lebih dekat dengan agama. We never know what is it that Allah akan berikan kepada kita yang lebih baik. Tetapi kita perlu yakin yang selalu akan ada yang lebih baik, insya-Allah. Okay?
Masya-Allah. That is beautiful, Ustaz. Bila kita yakin sangat. Dan that's the thing, untuk yakin tu. Yakin is I think really when I started Cakap Masjid tahun lepas, I just realised the power of yakin, untuk trust yang Allah ni Maha Pengasih, Maha Pemurah, and He will replace with something a lot bigger and better. Tapi bila you tengah berduka tu, you rasa macam how possible, contohnya macam tadi Ummu Salamah tu, macam like how possible, you already have the perfect man, takkan lagi ada benda yang lebih baik dari tu kan. Tak ada lagi manusia yang lebih baik dari tu kan. Dan Allah tunjukkan, Allah berikan Rasulullah SAW, which is the most perfect of men. And then kalau kita contohnya macam ada yang macam kata Ustaz, ada yang berduka, dia kehilangan anak dia, bukan satu orang, kedua-dua anak kembarnya kan, one after another kan. And then you feel like, ya Allah, what could be, how do I replace this? Because it's like separuh jiwa, like maybe 3/4 of your life is gone. But cuma Allah je lah yang boleh gantikan. And like for now, we see like kita geram, kita tengok dan kita tengok keadaan dunia ni. Lepas kita rasa macam like it's just not macam mana, it's so impossible at this point of time. But to have trust yang Allah SWT have His bigger plans.
How are you coping with watching all the videos and images from Gaza?
It's bad.
Do you avoid?
No, I do avoid like macam half a day. So kalau I tak post kat IG story tu, berarti I tengah
down. I cannot watch. I tell you, I cannot. I think my heart just cannot take it. And this is not ignorance. I know what's going on. I'm fully aware of what's going on. But the images are just so heartbreaking. I cannot take it when, I saw yesterday a doctor. She's a doctor at the hospital. Tiba-tiba yang lalu tu anak dia. Oh my God, that one I cannot. Things like that I cannot take. Because so many things going through my head, emotions. I think maybe we feel so much because we empathize so strongly with the Palestinians and the people in Gaza. But more so because it's just cruelty lah. Dia satu kekejaman yang sangat dahsyat. Jadi kita nak proses macam-macam dari segi perspektif agama pun. Like macam mana kita nak terima qada dan qadar takdir ini kan? Like are we supposed to just accept it, or are we supposed to do something about it? But even if we are supposed to do something about it, what can we do?
What can we do? Yeah.
So ramai yang tanyakan soalan ni. So semalam kita ada satu acara di mana kita pergas pejabat mufti, MUIS dan RRG AYN, banyak badan-badan Islam dan kepimpinan agama. Kita membincangkan bagaimana kita boleh membantu orang-orang yang sedang merasakan duka dan kesedihan ini. Apakah yang boleh kita bantu mereka daripada aspek what can I do? That's the question kan. So alhamdulillah kita dah dapat menjalankan solat hajat. Banyak masjid-masjid yang menganjurkan solat hajat. Kita sentiasa membacakan doa kunut nazilah pada solat-solat waktu. Dan kita mudah-mudahan akan dapat menganjurkan beberapa acara di mana orang boleh meluahkan perasaan, boleh bertanyakan soalan, maybe they need some clarity, they need an outlet. Kita juga dengar macam orang cuba untuk avoid certain things because by doing those things it's a show of support to those who are doing this cruelty, right? Jadi they try to avoid. Jadi semua orang akan cuba melakukan sesuatu, dan saya rasa ini semua merupakan satu outlet lah. We need an outlet. Kalau we don't talk about it, it's worse. Kita makan dalam kan, macam oh man, it's so bad, and you feel so paralyzed. So like you said lah, macam they are so far away, but how are we so affected by this? Because I think there is a deeper spiritual connection, number one, and then number two, there is a human connection. This is a humanity crisis, we all agree, and the whole world agrees actually. Dah banyak yang menyatakan secara jelas this must stop, there must be ceasefire and so on, but it's something that we don't know whether they will listen or not kan. Tapi daripada acara semalam pun Ustaz Hazbi ada share lah satu very simple. Dia cakap ad-du'a silahul mu'min. Doa itu adalah senjata orang mukmin. Never underestimate the power of a simple doa. Kadang-kadang Fiza, doa ni yang bantu kita untuk heal. Bila kita berdoa kan, we know we are communicating to Allah and we know that He's listening and He knows our grief and He knows our pain, and it feels good enough knowing that He knows. Dan kita yakin dan satu hari Dia akan kabulkan dan Dia akan bantu orang yang dizalimi. Itu janji Allah. Janji Allah, orang yang zalim tidak akan berjaya. That's His promise in the Quran, right? And so it's hard to continue watching. It's hard to stay updated with everything that's around us. Tetapi we also have to remain confident that insyaAllah one day justice will prevail and everything's going to be okay again. Cuma we don't know when lah. Yeah. I want to share one more story. So, you tahu Bilal?
Yeah.
Ya, Bilal kan dikenali sebagai orang yang pertama Nabi pilih untuk melaungkan azan. Yeah. So Bilal ni dia sayang sangat dengan Nabi SAW. So close. Why? His former slave yang dibebaskan oleh Abu Bakar Siddiq. Dia orang berkulit hitam, right? So he naturally already feels like an outcast. I'm not an Arab. But Nabi tak pernah pandang dia sebagai orang yang less than him. He's always a close friend. Bilal antara sahabat yang Nabi cakap dah dijanjikan syurga untuk Bilal, right? So Bilal ni, Fiza, selepas Nabi SAW meninggal dunia di Madinah, he cannot get himself to continue living in Madinah. He cannot. He says that everywhere I turn, I'm reminded of the Prophet SAW. Bumi yang dia pijak ni pun teringat Nabi SAW. Kan? Everywhere he goes. So do you know what he did? He migrated to Syria. And he continued to do dakwah in Syria, and he died there. So, what is the thing that I want to share here is that kadang-kadang bila kita setengah sedih selepas kehilangan seorang tu, dan kita rasa berat nak let go of certain things, we need to understand that sometimes letting go is what's going to help us to accept, terima, redha dengan ketentuan Allah SWT. So there is emotional detachment, there is mental detachment, there's also physical detachment. Right? So when we start to, learn that we need this, we need to move away, then slowly and surely it will help us. So kita tak boleh cakap apa ni Bilal ni, dia tinggalkan bumi Madinah, bukan ke tu bumi suci. No, I mean he made it clear that he is struggling. Jadi kita ni, kalau kita tengah struggle ni, kita janganlah ego sangat sampai kita tak nak mengaku yang kita perlukan somebody to talk to, that we need somebody to share our grievances with. Sekarang ni alhamdulillah ada banyak platform untuk kita nak reach out to someone who can help us, who can advise us, who can listen to us. Kita di Pergas pun kita ada Solace Care, dipanggil SOLACE, that you can go to. At the moment it's still free, so you can just reach out. You can find this online. We know that we need to beef it up a bit because semakin ramai permintaannya semakin banyak. But there are other places too that they can go.
Especially now, Ustaz.
Especially now. Yeah. So they don't know what to do. I don't want people to grieve on their own. I don't want people to sink, in their own thoughts. It's all dark thoughts. It's all very negative, and maybe it's filled with anger, frustration.
Yeah.
Because kalau mereka tidak dibantu, saya bimbang, saya khawatir ia akan membawa kepada perkara yang tidak diingini lah, right? Whatever that is, right?
Yeah.
So, I highly encourage that you seek help lah.
Dan this grieving is real. Saya rasa mungkin bukan kita di Singapura aja. It's basically the whole world is feeling. You buka mana-mana, you buka Instagram, buka feed TikTok dan sebagainya, you will see all these perspectives and orang yang tengah grieving in different ways. Ada yang grieve dia buat vlog. Ada yang grieve by leaving comments. Ada yang grieve by IG stories, by postings. Ada yang grieve by by staying off Instagram. Dah tak buka Instagram, macam kata you Ustaz Mizi, you actually stay off Instagram sebab you tak terdaya nak tengok video ni. Dan bagi saya tengok sebab I need to be aware. I feel like macam my way of bagi I membantu adalah untuk sharing information, sharing knowledge contohnya. Itu adalah my way of my outlet. Dan kadang saya rasa antara perkara yang buat saya sedih adalah bila kita bayangkan ini adalah anak-anak kita kan. Bila saya nampak ada anak ni yang berlari mencari mak dia macam di hospital. I'm not sure whether you saw it. Dia panggil mak dia macam panggil Umi kan. Dia cari tak jumpa. Dan I just felt like that was like my son yang panik. Mana mak dia kan, dan tak tahu mak dia ada lagi ke, mak dia cedera ke, mak dia dah meninggal ke. You have no idea. And I just see my son in that. Itu yang buat I macam rasa sangat-sangat sedih kan.
And there are thousands like that.
Thousands. Ya Allah. Kita tadi Ustaz ada ceritakan tentang Bilal. Dan cerita Bilal tu sangat sedih. Saya pernah nampak ada TikTok video about it as well, tentang betapa sedihnya, hibanya Bilal bila dengan pemergian Rasulullah SAW, sampai dia tak boleh lagi laungkan azan di situ. I think he did come back once just untuk laungkan azan. And when I saw the sharing, I punya nangis macam nak gila, macam nak nangis. Like I think like Allah really chooses orang-orang yang dia berikan cabaran, kehilangan sebegini. Betul. Sebab I think in our normal time, sekarang ni kita dah berduka, apatah lagi kalau we live in an era yang kita kehilangan Rasulullah SAW. Betul. I think our heart will be broken.
So I want to share, Fiza, untuk semua yang menonton sekarang ni. Dan sekali lagi, kalau you know anyone yang sedang grieving, yang baru kehilangan sesiapa yang mereka sayang, maybe you can share this live with them. Semoga mereka juga mendapat sedikit faedah dan peringatan yang dapat membantu, insyaAllah. So dia ada proses. So this process of grieving ni, first of all you fall lah. You dapat berita, khabar je, you break down, you fall. You cry, menangis. Nabi SAW juga menangis bila kehilangan anaknya. You question, kita mempersoalkan, kenapa berlaku kat aku? Kenapa dia masih muda? Kenapa dia masih sihat? Kenapa suami aku bukan suami orang lain? Kan? Like you question a lot of things. Kenapa bapa aku yang dapat kanser? Kenapa dia tak sihat macam biasa kan?
Ada bapa aku bersenam lah apa.
Yeah. Ni tadi pagi, Fiza, I dapat message. I think past midnight. I buka tadi pagi lepas subuh. This lady, dia cakap, my mom is 59. She's in the hospital. Dia minta doakan. Sebab apa? Her heart stopped beating twice dekat hospital. Now she's in the ICU. And this person said, Ustaz, I really, really love my mother. And I can tell from there, this is someone really, really special. There's a special bond between the two of them. Dan it's really troubling her. Dia sangat-sangat minta doa. kepada semua ustaz-ustaz, imam-imam yang mendoakan saya
semoga ibunya diberikan kesembuhan.
So when you lose somebody, you question, why is it happening to me? You doubt, kan? Why must it happen? You miss the person, kita rindu. You make steps towards acceptance. Kita cuba untuk mencapai tahap keredaan yang kita rasa sepatutnya kita ada. Ya, redha dengan takdir Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala. Kita cuba. And then you wish and you pray that mudah-mudahan I get to meet this person again. Kita doa. Mudah-mudahan kita dapat disatukan sekali lagi. Boleh. Kita boleh disatukan sekali lagi di syurga Allah. Then you begin to reminisce. Kita teringat semula memory kita, ya. Mungkin kita pernah pergi holiday sama-sama, zaman kita sekolah sama-sama, hari perkahwinan kita teringat balik semua, all these good sweet memories. And then one of the ways to grieve, saya rasa Fiza, is to actually honor this person. Jadi honor ni maknanya apa? Macam dalam bahasa Melayu kita menghormati, mengiktiraf orang ini dengan amal jariah, dengan kerja-kerja baik lah. So for example, you can give in the name of this person. Jadi kita sedekah hari Jumaat ni hari yang baik. Kita pergi ke masjid, kita masukkan sedikit duit di tabung, atau kita tengok mereka sedang membina sesuatu, Masjid Al-Amin tengah raising funds. So kita Paynow sekarang, kita donate dengan atas niat apa? Dalam hati je niat, ya Allah, ini atas nama arwah ibu aku, arwah ayah aku, arwah datuk aku. Just doa macam itu. Right? InsyaAllah mereka juga akan mendapat sedikit daripada kelebihan dan ganjaran yang kita lakukan ini. Okay? Amin. So, but to me, the process of giving and honouring your loved ones yang tak ada lagi juga adalah satu proses untuk kita grieve properly. Kan? Sebab dia satu proses yang kalau kita duduk tak buat apa-apa tu yang kita rasa macam restless. Sama macam the Gaza situation. Yeah. But when you are able to give, you feel a bit better. Sebab tu I think Singapore, Rahmatan Al-Amin raising funds, I think dah dekat 5 million if I'm not mistaken.
Masya Allah.
So, this is within a few days. And this is just Singapore. Right? Jadi, when we feel so strongly about a certain group of people yang kita rasa
satu je tu 5 million,
kalau kita rasa ditindas, kita akan bantu sedaya upaya. Sebab apa? Kita bayangkan satu hari kalau kita kena, we hope that people will think of us. We hope that people will help us.
Amin.
Sebab itu cara kita. Dan Nabi SAW pernah menyatakan dalam hadis, Allah SWT akan sentiasa membantu hambanya selagi mana hambanya membantu orang lain. So we always have to think of others and help others, because one day it might be us needing help. Okay, so we cannot live a selfish life. Tu negeri jauh, tak payahlah. Even doa pun tak nak. Tak payahlah. Kita pun macam-macam hal nak kena doa untuk diri kita. No, I think we should at least at the very bit we must doa untuk mereka. Kita I don't know, talk to our kids about it, because maybe they watch on social media, they thought, what's going on here? Tak faham kan? We take a moment, we take our time. My wife takes her time to also explain to the kids, what's going on. We have questions. To me, this semua usaha how we are helping them too. Because if people remain ignorant, maybe that's not good for the future. So kita bantu, mudah-mudahan it helps lah.
That's nice, Ustaz. Itu untuk kita dapat juga ajar anak-anak kita empathy. I think empathy is very important in so many aspects. Untuk mereka juga nanti anak-anak kita dapat empathize dengan mak bapak dia juga kan. They won't think like, oh, but it's my life now. I dah kahwin, dah ada anak dah. It's now my new life. I got to move on. If you're always thinking about your kids about moving on, let's move on. It gets like macam detachment itu real tau. That you feel like nothing else is more important kalau you tak terlibat directly dengan benda tu, kan? And I think that's beautiful kalau you cakap it's okay to feel that way because it is empathizing. And then adakah empathy sesuatu yang sangat digalakkan dalam Islam, Ustaz?
Ya, sudah tentu. Kita ambil contoh yang simple macam puasa kan. Although puasa kita buat memang kerana Allah suruh, perintah Allah. Kita buat supaya kita attain taqwa. Tetapi dalam ibadah puasa tu pun kita dapat merasakan apa yang orang rasakan, orang susah yang tak dapat makan dan minum 3 kali sehari. Kita tiba-tiba mula memahami mereka. How? Empathy, right? So there's a lot of things in Islam that teaches us empathy. Bila kita pergi haji dan umrah, you went for umrah recently, right?
Masya Allah.
So kita tengok kat sana, especially orang lelaki kita berihram, even orang perempuan kan, we are asked to be simple, and when we are there, dress simply, because we are taught to detach. And from there we see orang lain yang mereka, I pernah lalu yang I went Hajj recently, some of them tak ada hotel pun, so dia just merimpat kat luar kan, tidur. But at the end when we pass by each other, kita berpakaian sama, serupa. It's like there's no difference. And so you could imagine that maybe that could be me also, but just ditakdirkan kita dilahirkan di negeri lain, ditakdirkan kita punya rezeki ditentukan berlainan dan sebagainya. But you can imagine how it's like, how difficult it is, right? So I think there are many lessons in Islam that teach us the importance of empathizing untuk memahami keadaan, perasaan, kedukaan yang orang lain rasakan, yang mungkin kita tak dapat rasakan kalau kita tidak berhenti seketika untuk membayangkan diri kita berada dalam situasi mereka. So it's something that we must constantly try. Dan dalam Al-Quran pun, dalam surah Al-Baqarah, Allah telah berjanji kepada kita yang kita pasti akan diuji, all of us, kan? And He will surely test you with something of fear. Allah akan berikan kita perasaan takut, of hunger, rasa lapar, and a loss of wealth and lives, kehilangan harta dan juga nyawa. So sekarang apa yang kita sedang experience ni, all of us, we are affected by the loss of lives over there. Ini satu ujian untuk kita juga. Walaupun it's far, tetapi with technology today, we know a lot more. Dulu, if you met in the 90s, the Gulf War, we only saw what the media wanted us to see.
Yes, betul.
What the news wanted to show. But we didn't know anything else. But even then, that was enough for us to feel so affected. And tapi sekarang ni, with everything more direct, and there was even live streaming, and then suddenly bombs dropping and everything like that. How, of course you are affected. How can you not be affected? How can you not imagine? Some of the things that we see is like, dulu cuma dalam video game je, sekarang in real life, and people are actually dying. Jadi kita pun belajar macam mana kita nak make sense of all of this. Tapi inilah yang Allah tentukan sebagai salah satu daripada ujian-ujian yang akan diberikan. Tapi Allah katakan juga, but give good tidings to the patient. Dan berikanlah khabar baik kepada orang yang bersabar. Okay? Kita tak suka kalau orang cakap, Fiza sabarlah. Kan? We don't like it.
It could be very triggering tau Ustaz. It's very triggering. I feel like macam untuk orang sedang bersedih, okay, untuk orang tengah marah,
Fiza,
cakap,
sabar.
Babe, relax.
Sabar, relax.
Babe, chill. Chill is triggering, Ustaz. I'm so sorry. But chill is triggering. Orang tu tengah marah, you have no idea what's happening. Okay, babe, chill. Ataupun tengah sedih ni, okay, sabar. Kita kena bersabar without asking, kan? Tanpa cuma untuk rasakan empathy kan Ustaz. Masya Allah, that's true Ustaz. And I think also kan Ustaz, bila kita tengok orang-orang yang tengah di Palestin, di Gaza sekarang ni, dalam keadaan mereka diuji, tengah dukung anak yang dah meninggal ni, tengah mendakap isteri. I saw one video, suami dia seorang lawyer mendukung anaknya yang dah meninggal, dan isterinya pun dah meninggal, dan dibalutkan dengan kain putih. Dia tulis dekat luar, my love, my moon, my heart. I was crying. Then I was thinking, I think a lot of us resonate sebab kita sendiri tahu kita akan melalui kehilangan. And we dread that day.
Yeah. You know what I fear most? I don't like the idea of receiving a phone call at 2-3 a.m. in the morning. I'm scared. Yeah. Because, it could be my mom, my dad, my in-laws. I kalau boleh tak nak. I don't want to. But I know it might come. And it's a phone call that you dread. But it might come.
Yeah. I think a lot of us, kalau jangan nak terima phone call pukul 3 pagi, 2 pagi. Because you know that
it's not good news.
It's not, yeah. Saya macam, when your phone is ringing pukul 2 pagi, jantung tu macam nak putus, sampai panic tau. Like, if someone's calling for no good reason, you like, do not call. Jangan buat saya ada heart attack pukul 2 pagi. Ada katakan di sini, Ramai katakan, Fiza, my tears just cannot stop. Semoga saya meraih manfaat dari Cakap Masjid hari ini. Amin. Ibu saya sendiri baru meninggal dunia 3 bulan lepas. Semoga ditempatkan di kalangan mereka yang beriman. Amin. Amin ya rabbal alamin.
Salam takziah untuk Puan
Iza. And 3 months, walaupun bagi seorang 3 bulan, I can just imagine. For you, it's just like yesterday kan. Baru bercakap dengan mak. And then you kind of like,
tiba-tiba dah tak ada.
Tak boleh text lagi, tak boleh call lagi. Minta mak bantuan. Kan? Allahu Akbar. Ada yang ramai yang mendoakan hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil. You know what Ustaz, I think if I can find some solace in it, some hope in this is, kalau dahulu hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil adalah antara ungkapan yang sering dikongsi oleh para asatizah exclusively, but right now it's all over social media. Everyone's saying it because orang-orang Palestin, every time you see it in all videos. Bila mereka nampak satu pengboman, mereka nampak kematian dalam mata mereka sebagainya, that's what they will ucapkan every single time. And then it has become something that has become more regular for orang-orang macam saya, kan?
So the history of this saying of hasbi Allah wa ni'mal wakil, ada dua lah yang saya tahu. Pertama, of course, during the time of our Prophet SAW, para sahabat bila mereka rasa macam nak give up, mereka rasa macam the enemies are too strong and everything, mereka diingatkan untuk baca ini sebab this is what gives them strength. But there's another story one sheikh shared in relation to the story of Nabi Ibrahim AS. So Nabi Ibrahim kan ada satu ketika tu bila dia dicampakkan ke dalam sebuah api yang besar, dan pada ketika itu malaikat datang tau. Malaikat Jibril tanya, kau nak tak aku tolong kau sekarang? Which I feel like it's a weird question. Dia tanya, alaka hajah, kau ada hajat tak sekarang ni? Dah kena campak dalam api ni, macam rumah you terbakar, jiran you jenguk, Fiza, you need help or not? Macam
like
macam Tapi yang amazing, the faith of Nabi Ibrahim AS ni, dia cakap apa tau? Dia cakap, amma ilaika fala, from you Jibril, no, hasbi Allah wa ni'mal wakil, Allah is the only one, like I just need Allah. Even malaikat ni dah tanya ni, I just want Allah. And as a result of that, what happened? Allah firman dalam Quran supaya api tu dijadikan sejuk.
Allah.
Okay. Kuni bardan wa salaman. Kan jadi, ya naru kuni bardan wa salaman. Oh fire, become cooling and safe for Ibrahim. And then he walked out unharmed, not burned and well. So keyakinan kita dengan bacaan hasbi Allah, hasbunallah, ni'mal wakil ni, kita kena read it with so much faith that Allah is on our side and He will help those who have been mistreated.
Beautiful. Terima kasih Ustaz. And then I think that this is the beauty tentang ikuti berbagai kelas-kelas, ceramah sebagainya. The meaning of hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil always hit different. Dan macam bila I dengar, of course, but when you share with me again, macam bayangkan Nabi Ibrahim depan tu malaikat tanya, do you need my help? And he says, no.
Not from you.
Not from you.
Allah. Sebab tu Nabi Ibrahim nickname is Khalilullah. Khalilullah macam Allah's friend. Yeah, because he's so close.
Masya Allah. That yakin, like I don't need anyone else except for Allah SWT. And so now we understand bila kita nampak all this like mangsa-mangsa peperangan atau mangsa-mangsa pengeboman ni, mereka rasa macam it's okay, I just need Allah. And then it makes the whole world jatuh hati dengan Islam, because they're like, what is this? What is in this kalimah of hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil? It is asking for help from Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala. Masya Allah. If you have any other questions sharing with us, jangan malu-malu, jangan segan. You can actually just WhatsApp me right now. This is the number. Kalau segan, or else leave it in the YouTube chat ataupun the Facebook chat. Jadi I boleh tayangkan kat screen, okay? Otherwise you boleh WhatsApp lah. Okay, so the next one yang hantar kita soalan ni ataupun sharing ni, kata AR Abraham, ini doa apa Ustaz?
Wa ufawwidu amri ila Allah pun ayat dalam Quran, which is aku serahkan urusanku semua kepada Allah. Sungguhnya Allah melihat kepada hamba-hambanya, innallaha basirun bil ibad. Itu satu amalan yang boleh dibaca jugalah.
Masya Allah. So thank you for sharing with us. Dan any other sharing Ustaz of like zikir, you have shared with us about hasbunallah, how beautiful it is, yang yang
tadi itulah, yang tadi tu yang saya cerita Ummu Salamah tu, innalillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un, Allahumma ajurni fi musibati wa khluf li khairan minha. Okay, so satu doa kita minta Allah gantikan dengan benda yang lebih baik lah, dan kita yakin Satu lagi perkara Fiza yang boleh kita lakukan, I think this is part of healing ourselves, and this is something I do as well, which is we relive our last conversations with that person. Kita ingat kembali macam, what did I last say to this person? What was our last conversation about? So sometimes I would go back when I hear friends that pass away. For example, there's this Sheikh Muhammad Al-Sharif lah. I got the chance to meet him. We did a content together once when he was in KL, and suddenly I found out he passed away. So I was looking back at our text messages and what we said and what we shared with each other and how friendly he was. Kan, I think benda-benda macam ini pun membantu untuk kita menerima pemergian seseorang yang daripada perspektif kita pergi secara mendadak lah. Tetapi sebenarnya memang dah sampai waktunya, dah sampai ajalnya, right? You know Riz Sunawan?
Yeah.
So Riz was also a dear friend, And I look back at our conversations, on WhatsApp, on Facebook, on Instagram, and always so friendly, Our last few messages were like, Allah Ustaz, so sweet, dia cakap, insyaAllah we'll meet you soon, dia cakap. I've mentioned to meet you, insyaAllah, and so on. So, we see things like this, like I miss you, hope to drop by soon, and but Allah yang menentukan bila tiba-tiba seorang tu pergi, kita tak sempat.
I think in our very first Cakap Masjid, Risunawan did enter.
Oh, really?
No, that that's the thing, kadang-kadang kita kesal kan, kita tak buat screenshots of such things kan. So Riz is also very supportive of shows that I do with KC or shows I've done for Cakap Masjid. I think it was me with you, I think. I think I nak cakap balik video tu dalam YouTube live chat ke dekat Facebook punya komen. Dia masuk dan dia kata Assalamualaikum Ustaz. Remember that?
I think so. Probably.
No, you see nanti I'll go back.
Probably, yeah.
Masya Allah. Allahu Akbar. Kan?
So yeah, I have this nice one photo with him, probably when he was still able to, stand. But this memory is very special juga because ni waktu I pergi haji in 2018.
Oh, Ustaz sudah banyak kali pergi haji Ustaz. No, it's not a sarcastic question. Dia macam, okay, sorry, the way I check out is very sarcastic.
Dah 3 kali. 3 kali. So ada story lah. No, the first one because I masih, I think baru balik waktu tu, and then my parents ada peluang pergi in the 90s and we went lah. I think dulu tak ada
kuota sangat
And then 2018 was the time when Riz was there. Itu macam apa ni? Jemputan daripada the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Masya Allah.
And then yang this year was the quota lah dengan my wife.
Masya Allah.
So in 2018 ni, Riz was there, so he sent me off and we took a picture. But when I came back, he told me what happened. That was the time when he suddenly collapsed at the airport. And he said, I couldn't get up, dia cakap. I didn't know what was going on. He said that was the beginning. Yeah, that was the beginning. So it's quite significant, that memory. And I'll always remember him as a dear friend. Bila I visited him, kita baca Quran sama-sama. Because he just wanted to hear something, listen to something soothing. And if I can share just one more story about another friend, his name is Hasif lah. I don't know whether you know Hasif.
Yeah.
So Hasif is a photographer. Yeah, he covers a lot of Islamic events, and I think he's such a good boy. First of all, he's very close dengan atuk dia. Dia selalu bawa atuk dia pergi solat subuh dekat masjid. Nanti dia pimpin atuk dia bawa atuk dia pergi sarapan. Lepas tu seorang cucu yang sangat baik. And a good brother to his siblings as well. The siblings all love him. And dia suka hadirkan diri dia dekat acara-acara agama, right? Islamic talks. Walaupun he knows he can get paid better just covering weddings, for example. And sometimes he would prioritize, Ustaz ada event tak? I nak tolong. Like he's always like that. Masya Allah. And bila hari dia meninggal tu, I think mak dia pun pelik tau. Ustaz, ramai asatizah dia. Masa anak aku yang photographer ni tiba-tiba ramai asatizah? Because he's very clever. He invested his time, his effort in all these places.
Masya Allah.
Knowing that he will go first, not knowing that he will go first, but then eventually leading to everybody praying for him lah. So, Ustaz Zahil was the one leading the prayers. I was there. Many other asatizah were there. So, if you imagine macam, just a photographer apa, like what's so special? Tapi kalau Allah nak naikkan darjat kita, it can happen at any time.
Masya Allah.
Fiza, you dah develop banyak relationship Ustaz ni, Fiza. So, no worries. You are well invested, insyaAllah. Good. But you know what's beautiful about ni? So this picture that I took with him was last year, 27th November. Okay, he covered my event dengan Lisa Surihani in Singapore.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then you were there.
Yeah, I was there.
And then he was telling me, Ustaz, doakan Hasif nak pergi umrah, but I'll be there for 1 month. Dia cakap, kenapa lama? I tolong. So bila dia balik tu, a few days later tu yang dia terus collapse, right? So this is the last time I met him.
So the fresh balik umrah
Exactly. Balik umrah sebulan tak tu.
Masya Allah.
So apa yang buat seorang yang normal seperti ini, Allah pilih dia sampai macam gitu sekali. That he invested his time in all of this Ustaz events, that dia diberikan peluang untuk buat umrah sebulan, and then pagi subuh tu nak pergi masjid tu, then dia collapsed and didn't wake up.
Dan nak pergi masjid. Masya Allah.
Like, so anybody watching right now, kalau you rasa macam, alah, saya ni siapa kan? don't ever think that kalau Allah nak naikkan darjat you, it can happen to anyone.
Masya Allah. And I think also it's never too late to start anything, Ustaz. Kadang-kadang Ustaz ni, kadang-kadang ada asatizah community which is sangat amazing di Singapore. And I think when I first started Cakap Masjid last year of my collaboration with Masjid Al-Amin, thank you Ustaz Haikal, Ustaz Syafi'i yang nak kerja sama dengan saya. Way before I even put on my hijab, and way before I did any rancangan-rancangan yang keagamaan. I think I've learned so much that, and I think para asatizah kadang-kadang di Singapore ni is so underrated tau, I rasa. It's so underrated. Saya kenal dengan ramai asatizah yang very clever, very well equipped with knowledge, alhamdulillah. Dan di Singapore kita terlindung dengan adanya ARS kan, those who are really mempunyai pendidikan yang sahih lah kirakan, dari para dari Universiti Singapura. So I hope that Cakap Masjid dapat memperkenalkan people of like my entertainment community, mereka yang suka dengan hiburan, bahawa it's okay to just sit in a session, you rasa tak tahu anything, and then Ustaz, I tak tahu solat, I tak tahu doa ni, I tak tahu surah ni, and it's okay because there's so many of us who doesn't know a lot of things, and it's okay to just ask kan. Sebab I in my experience with a lot of asatizah, there's no judgment in like, tak tahu surah ni. They just go like, oh surah ni macam gini bunyi dia, or like astaghfirullahalazim.
Keyboard semua dia bantai. Tak tahu surah ni, tak tahu? Aku hentak keyboard ni baru tahu. Dah masuk belum?
Nak ambil tisu ni, keyboard aku libas kat sini. Bayangkan, so sometimes it gets a bit more overwhelming. So that's why I akan tanyakan soalan-soalan yang sama. Almost every week I akan tanyakan soalan sama, surah yang sama, ataupun I akan tanyakan lagi the same orang anggap, atau asatizah yang anggap basic questions. So I feel like my role here is untuk kadang-kadang para asatizah you think like, oh ni orang dah tahu kot. Tak Ustaz, orang belum tahu lagi. Ramai orang tahu lagi Ustaz. This is what are the steps. Contohnya bagi para asatizah mungkin hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil ni is ayat atau surah yang basic. But for a lot of us, what does it mean? What's the special thing about it? Share with us Ustaz. Kan? So please let us know, jangan segan-segan, because we are all, I'm here to learn with all of you. WhatsApp saya 8389080, and this is a QR code untuk derma pada Masjid Al-Amin. I think Ustaz have shared with us a lot of his own examples as well, dealing with your own losses, your own grief Ustaz. Dan kalau kita lihat di poster Masjid Al-Amin juga, the prophetic way of dealing with grief, Ustaz kongsi tentang Bilal, iaitu sahabat Rasulullah SAW. Ustaz pun share Ummu Salamah. What else do you share Ustaz earlier on? Nabi Ibrahim alaihissalam, when he was thrown into the fire, and how he have trust yang Allah akan bantu. Allah akan bantu. And I think what are the ways Al-Quran dapat beri ketenangan. I see on TikTok right now, so many non-Muslims are saying, I'm reading this Quran and I'm so amazed by this. And I've seen before TikTokers yang cakap, I am really amazed at the faith these Palestinians have. I want to know, what did your Allah, they said it's your Allah, put it in Islam. In Islam, I want to know. And that touches me. Macam that orang sangat terkesima dengan iman yang ada pada orang Palestin. So bagaimana Ustaz untuk, sometimes we look at Al-Quran as a kitab, as a book, but how do we really trust Al-Quran ni dapat memberikan kita ketenangan Ustaz?
I think the only way you can know is by doing. Sebab tu Fiza, when tadi orang tanyakan macam what else can we do, what else can we do, saya rasa kita semua kena kembali kepada Al-Quran. We need to read it. Like you are saying right now, a lot of non-Muslims, mereka sekarang tertarik untuk nak membaca Al-Quran, mengkaji Al-Quran, tetapi mungkin kita sendiri tak baca. I think that's an issue. So when we feel so much pain and anger and frustration, try to go back to the Quran and read, because for all you know, you will find something there that helps you, that guides you, that soothes your heart, kan? So jangan kita jauh daripada Al-Quran lah, just because aku dah orang Islam dah, aku tak payah. No, we need to. Kita lebih cepat nak share konten yang orang lain, orang bukan Islam baca Quran, tapi kita sendiri tak tertarik untuk nak membaca Al-Quran. So hari ni hari Jumaat, kita kena cubalah buka Al-Quran, baca satu muka, dua muka kan. At the very least, it brings us closer to Allah and it reminds us of why things happen and it helps us to be more accepting of what's going on in the world today.
Amin. Ada yang tanya Ustaz, salam Ustaz. I nak tanya, how can we be of help to someone who is experiencing grief, and this help kita nak berikan ni, we don't want to trigger it more. Macam kadang-kadang kita like, okay, nangis, okay, chill, sabar. Like, so what is the suggested with Ustaz?
I think triggers could be even macam dia tak ada, macam dia cuba nak lupakan tapi kita makin mengingatkan, and maybe that might be triggering. Setiap orang dia punya trigger dan lain-lain. Okay? Semua ni tak sama. So macam Fiza cakap tadi, kalau orang cakap dia chill lagi dia triggered. Tapi ada orang dia triggered by memories. So if you try to remind them of something, they become more triggered. I think the best thing you can do sebenarnya adalah untuk duduk bersamanya. Dan kalau dia tak nak cakap apa-apa, kita pun diam. Tapi kehadiran awak di sisi dia tu sangat-sangat membantu. Ia dapat menenangkan emosi dia kerana ada kewujudan seseorang secara fizikal di sebelah dia. Kalau tak secara fizikal, if you on the phone pun, kan, and you know, just being silent pun sometimes it's helpful. There are many people, Fiza, yang go through anxiety. They just need somebody to be on the other line, even if you don't say anything. Just to know that dengar orang bernafas pun cukup lah, kan. So macam I know that somebody is there.
Not alone my tears.
So ramai orang dia takut kalau tersalah cakap nanti trigger, macam Ras cakap ni kan. Tapi kadang-kadang it's not about what you say. Sometimes it's just about being there. And you only speak when they ask. Maknanya kadang-kadang kawan awak akan tanya. Dia tanya, what can I do? How do you think I should overcome this? Kalau dia minta awak punya pendapat, dan awak berikan pendapat. Tapi kalau dia tak minta, bermaksud dia tak perlukan apa-apa kecuali kehadiran awak. Itu saja yang mencukupi insya-Allah buat masa inilah. So the best thing is to do is to sit there, be with them, listen. If they need to talk to somebody, pick up the phone and call them, and that's about it for now. Kalau mereka perlukan nasihat, they will ask you and then you give them accordingly. And if you cannot help, then salurkan kepada agensi-agensi yang lebih berkelayakan, insya-Allah.
I have friends yang really clinical therapist. I think my Musli is one of it. She is with Ustaz Aliana, runs Hayat Network, and I think there's so many women and men kan yang go through different kind of grief that you need to attend to it. You need to tak memperlekehkan kesedihan yang ada dalam diri you, yang ada pada people that you know of. Ada yang ramai yang kirim salam kepada Ustaz, masya-Allah. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you everyone for all of your salam that you give to us today. We are very grateful. Ada yang malu, but that's okay. I think ada yang menonton and just like sitting by yourself. Kadang-kadang I don't know, Ustaz, I think of recent weeks I really have been in my own thoughts. That's how I don't know whether it's healing or it's good or it's bad.
Maybe you're just processing.
I just rasa macam, I think it's a fear. I think it brings out a lot of anger in me as well. Dia macam benda ni, contohnya benda ni dah nampak salah tau. This person needs help. Why aren't you helping this person, for example? Then you feel like there was a part of your life that you went through it as well. Kan macam with such aggressive ataupun such sad situations. Like, I am betul-betul mangsa ni sekarang ni. Okay, please give me help. But some people like, okay, wait, let me check with people before I give you help. Kan? So that gets a lot more kadang-kadang menggeramkan. So today's will be a very long day for Ustaz Mizi. You were from another class.
I'm going to the prisons later to meet the inmates.
Masya Allah. How do you feel like going to the prison, Ustaz?
Interesting experience, eye-opening.
What do you do?
I talk to them, so I listen to them. This is not just for Muslims, this is for all inmates.
So you datang tak pakai songkok?
Tak.
I don't know, I know it's not an important question.
So I don't appear as an ustaz lah.
Okay,
that's the point.
I see.
Yeah, so I listen to them and whatever feedback they have to share, I check on their well-being, I check whether food is okay, I check whether their cell is okay, macam the books that they read, they need more books, apa-apalah, their medical care.
One-on-one?
Usually, I come, maybe there are 10 people who want to see me, then I meet them one by one.
Satu persatu you cakap dengan orang. Dan bukan orang Melayu sajalah.
No. I usually do my walkabouts and I look at the cells, or I look at the canteen, now I look at the workshop. Some of them are in workshop, dia orang bekerja kat dalam. I go to the yard where they are taking their break sometimes. So yeah, we look at all those things.
Profession aside, Ustaz, ketepikan their profession and how does that make you feel as a Muslim? How does that make you feel as a man? Bila you masuk ke dalam penjara ni and then you help to counsel or help these inmates.
I think I get to, first and foremost, on a very personal level, I get to share this with my kids. Ingat tak, that time I think kat Mediacorp diorang ada buat satu show about, they show the inmates story. I think apa nama show dia?
Ya, ada dekat apa tu? Channel News Asia Ada series
documentary series. So suddenly it showed after I came back. I got to share with my kids exactly how it is like inside there. So dia macam, really? Macam gitu kan. But indirectly you are teaching them, you don't do anything funny, you might get into there. Another part of me, when I look at all of them, ada yang tell me, sir, this is my 10th time. Sir, this is my, I think there's one old man, he's like in his 70s.
70-an tahun.
Very frail. He said, saya dah 15 kali masuk. Dia cakap, I sedih sebab I think their whole life has been destroyed as a result of biasanya dada, right? They can't get out of it. It's their friends, they keluar with the same people, go to them, feed them with the same things. Saya rasa sedih lah because they had a future but it was destroyed. They had family but everybody's left them, given up on them. Ada yang muda-muda pun ramai Fiza sekarang, and they are educated also.
Are they grieving? Are they grieving in the?
Some of them are, especially yang baru masuk sekali 2 kali ni, very very much still in denial and finding it hard to accept. Yang
banyak kali itulah yang
banyak kali tu macam almost they don't feel anything, which is quite sad. Tapi ada yang macam rasa they want another chance, but they feel like nobody's giving them a chance when they come back out.
Oh wow! Not a lot more comments. Thank you so much for sharing, Ustaz and Kak Fiza. Learn a lot today. May Allah bless you all. Amin ya rabbal alamin. Thank you for your comments. Gambar depan ni, okay. Amin. Gambar depan tak selari ni. Anyway, ada lagi. I feel the same as you, Fiza. Masya Allah. Thank you so much for sharing. Ini Assalamualaikum, Ustaz and Fiza. I'm a Muslim convert. Thank you. Okay, so thank you for sharing with us. So Ustaz is for a man and Ustazah is for a female. I'm a Muslim convert. Can I read the Quran in English because I have not learnt it in Arabic, Ustaz?
Yes, you can, Matilda. I would recommend you download this app called The Majestic Quran. The Majestic Quran. So the one who translated this, his name is Dr. Musharraf Khan in the UK. He came to Singapore recently, and I'm going to the UK to meet him this month. And he translated it in the most simplest English, plain English, that is so easy to understand. So I want you to check it out. It's free to download the app on Android and Apple. Just go to the App Store and look for the Majestic Quran. I love not only how he translates it so simply, but he groups them into a chunk of paragraphs or verses or passages that are talking about the same thing. Because sometimes in an entire chapter, you find that there are many things being talked about. So he breaks them down like, this whole chunk is talking about only this, and the next set of verses is talking about this. So I find it very, very helpful, and I love it. Of course, they have the physical copy. You can buy it on Amazon. But for now, if you want it free, just have a look first. You can download it on the App Store.
Wow, thank you. Terima kasih Ustaz Mizi. I think that's not only helpful for Matilda, but it's helpful for me as well. I would definitely download the app.
Dia bukan macam classical English, like old school English. Dia macam very simple,
very simple English. Dia macam bukan art thou dan sebagainya. Dia Shakespearean English bukan Masya Allah. Thank you Ustaz. That's very very helpful. So thank you so much to everyone. Don't forget to ikut Ustaz Mizi. Follow Ustaz Mizi on his social media as well. He's very very active on Instagram. So you can follow Ustaz Mizi Wahid on his Instagram platform. And sekali lagi saya nak ajak pada semua, and I want to bring and ask all of you to also screenshot this QR code. This is a QR code to make your sedekah, your derma, your donations to Masjid Al-Amin. They have started their renovation. Mereka dah mulakan ubah elok mereka, dan mereka masih lagi perlukan untuk mengumpul dana untuk keep up with the renovation works. So bayangkan duit yang awak dermakan hari Jumaat hari ini, insyaAllah akan termasuk dalam proses pembinaan untuk menghabiskan proses renovasi di Masjid Al-Amin hari Jumaat ini. Dan semoga segera setiap derma kita diterima Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala dan dipermudah memudahkan segala urusan kita, amin. Dan kalau boleh saya dapat buat request untuk Ustaz. Dah download Ustaz. Ustaz, I dah download dah. Cepat dia dah download sini. Mungkin dapat Ustaz Mizi sampaikan doa penutup untuk Cakap Masjid hari ini, Ustaz. Bismillah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya wa sayyidil mursalin sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajmain. Allahumma a'inna ala dhikrika wa syukrika wa husni ibadatik ya musarrifal qulub sarrif qulubana ala dinika wa ala ta'atik. Allahumma inna nas'aluka ilman nafi'a wa nuran sati'a wa rizqan wasi'a wa amalan mutaqabbala wa shifaan min kulli da'. Allahumma la tada' lana fi maqamina hadha dhanban illa ghafartah wa la hamman illa farajtah wa la dhallan illa hadaitah wa la maridan illa syafaitah wa la aiban illa satartah wa la jahilan illa alamtah wa la mayitan illa rahimtah wa la dainan illa qadaitah wa la hajatan min hawajid dunya wal akhirah illa qadaitaha lana wa yassartaha lana ya rabbal alamin. Ya Allah Tuhan kami, bantulah kami dan saudara-saudara kami yang sedang menghadapi musibah ya Allah. Bantulah saudara-saudara kami yang sedang dizalimi di bumi Gaza dan juga di seluruh dunia ya Allah. Berikanlah mereka kekuatan, kesabaran, ketabahan hati dan kukuhkanlah keimanan mereka terhadap bantuan-Mu ya Allah. Ya Allah Tuhan kami, bagi kami yang sedang dalam keadaan bingung dan tidak tentu akan apa yang boleh kami lakukan, tenangkanlah hati-hati kami. Masukkanlah dalam benak fikiran kami, fikiran-fikiran yang positif ya Allah. Bantulah kami untuk berbaik sangka kepadamu ya Allah. Dan satukanlah hati-hati kami ya Allah. Jangan sampai apa yang sedang berlaku memecah belahkan umat Nabi-Mu Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ya Allah, peliharalah keamanan yang kami dapat rasakan di negara ini ya Allah. Dan berkatilah kehidupan kami semua. Semoga kita sentiasa dapat tolong, membantu, berusaha, berdoa untuk sesiapa sahaja yang sedang mengalami musibah di dunia ini ya Allah. Ya Allah, Tuhan kami, ada di kalangan kita yang baru saja kehilangan ayah dan ibu, yang baru saja kehilangan suami dan isteri, yang baru kehilangan anak, yang baru keguguran anak dalam kandungan ya Allah. Bantulah kami semua untuk menerima takdir-Mu ya Allah. Ya, kami memerlukan masa untuk menerima ini ya Allah. Kami memerlukan kekuatan untuk tabah dan sabar ya Allah. Tetapi kami sangat-sangat memohon agar kami dapat menerima takdir-Mu. Semoga mendapat ganjaran yang lebih baik di akhirat. Semoga dapat digantikan yang lebih baik di dunia ya Allah. Dan harapan kami adalah supaya kami dapat disatukan sekali lagi di syurga-Mu bersama mereka-mereka yang telah kembali sebelum ini ya Allah. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, kepada saudara-saudara kami yang telah kembali kepada-Mu atas akibat serangan-serangan yang zalim, atas kekejaman ini semua ya Allah, kami berdoa kepada-Mu agar setiap anak yang kehilangan ibu dan ayah mereka, agar mereka dapat disatukan di Jannatul Firdaus ya Allah. Dan agar semua ibu dan ayah yang kehilangan anak-anak mereka yang terkorban, anak-anak yang tidak bersalah ni semua ya Allah, agar mereka dapat menjadi sebab mereka dapat memasuki syurga-Mu ya Allah. Semoga semua yang terkorban, yang tidak bersalah ini semua akan mendapat peluang untuk bertemu Nabi-Mu Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Dan kami juga berdoa agar kami juga di sini tidak terkecuali. Amin ya rabbal alamin. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adzabannar. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wasallam. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Taqabbalallahu minkum.
Thank you Ustaz, amin ya rabbal alamin. Dan kita akan jumpa anda semua pada minggu depan untuk Cakap Masjid setiap hari Jumaat 11 pagi. Dan ada yang masih lagi ada soalan untuk Ustaz Mizi, anda boleh tanyakan terus pada Ustaz Mizi insya-Allah. Kalau Ustaz Mizi ternampak dan ada masa terluang akan dapat menjawab lagi soalan anda insya-Allah. Dan terima kasih Masjid Al-Amin, Ustaz Haikal, Ustaz Syafi'i hari ini untuk satu lagi episod Cakap Masjid. Dan
terima kasih Fiza.
Ustaz, nanti nak booking Ustaz tahun depan
Boleh.
Tahun depan same date.
Thank you.
Same time. And of course, congrats Ustaz for the successful spiritual summits. That was about 3 minggu lepas begitu. Ada?
Betul.
Congrats. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.